There are some among you who follow the teaching of Balaam, who instructed Balak to throw a stumbling block in the way of the Israelites by tempting them to do this or that. There are some among you, church, who throw a stumbling block in the way of God's own children that keeps them from salvation, that trips them up. You tempt them to eat food sacrificed to idols and to practice fornication. You give them the easy way out. You make those compromises with the secular spirit, the pagan world. A few years ago, maybe 3 years ago, a young lady that I know, she's going to be married next month, she and her fiancé had a youth ministry, which they had taken care of for some time, and they had about 60 teenagers, and they received a new chaplain, young priest. And in the first meeting, the father was having a question and answer session. And the kids were asking questions. And at one point, a bright young man said, Father, but what about sex? You know, it's the 90s. You know, what's the church think about this? You know, if I have a meaningful relationship with my girlfriend, I mean, you know, what about sex? Is that okay now? Now, all of us sitting here would say, well, that's a no-brainer. I mean, that was easy. Obviously, what he's, you know, we know what he would say, right? He's a priest, after all. Father's response was, well, in the old days, we would consider that a mortal sin. However, today, in the light of better understanding of human nature, better theology, we would say that if you indeed are in love and you have a meaningful relationship, and this person is your significant other, whatever that means, then under those conditions, it wouldn't be a sin, it would probably be prudent, and it's not so bad. When I was a teenager, all I had to hear from anybody, much less the priest, was that. Wow. You mean it's okay? Great. The little girl running the youth ministry, I mean little, she was 4'10", more or less. She came out of her seat like the MX missile. What? Where'd you get that, Father? Well, that's the opinion of the preponderance of theologians today. Doesn't that tell you anything? Yeah. That the preponderance of theologians done lost the faith. That's what it tells me. She said, where do you find that? Which document's that in? Of course, she couldn't tell her. She calls me. I'm at dinner with my mother and some friends. She's frantic. Where is it in the catechism? I told her. She found it, brought it to him. He got around it, you know, talked his way around it. My brothers and sisters, these are serious matters. It's going on. Don't play ostrich and bury your head in the sand. Our little ones are being sold down the river, and we seem to take the evil quite well. Throw a stumbling block in the way of God's little ones, a lie,